What is up, guys? Today we're going to be unboxing and checking out the Samsung Galaxy A11. So I was actually this one a while ago, so we don't do a lot of Samsung phones, so I thought why not. So it's a $160 budget phone, so way under 200 bucks. Now this is competing with the Note 8, the Redmi Note 8, but you know, the Samsung fans might like this phone for this price, especially if you had the A10s or the A10. You might like this, guy. So in the box you get the standard stuff, the charger, you know, the USB Type-C cable, and also you actually get some headphones with a microphone in it, which is nice. So that's always a good addition. But getting to the phone, it's a plastic phone, but it doesn't feel super cheap in the hand. The design is you know, it's okay. It's kind of bland, not the most flashy design. The Samsung branding is at the bottom, and on this color you can barely see it. That's why I said it's a very low-key design. As you can see, the triple camera setup on here as well. When you flip it over to the front, you're greeted with a 6.4-inch TFT display, so it's not an IPS display, and I noticed that off the bat because of the colors. You get a different color. The colors are not as vibrant as on an IPS display. So it's a 6.4-inch, pretty nice size display. So you do have a 720p display, 268 for the PPI, and at this price point the display is fine. I didn't have a huge issue with it. You know, again, for this price point, not complaining. Now, are there phones with better displays at this price point? Yes, but they're not Samsung phones, and Samsung has a really big fan base here. So you do have Android 10, and it's not the same. So you have Android 10 with One UI 2.0, I believe, but there's no Samsung Edge and there's no Bixby. So when you swipe to the left, you can't, you know, there's no Bixby and there's no Edge. So Samsung did this to be able to make this phone run smoother, I'm assuming, and it runs pretty smooth for the most part. It's pretty decent. It's not really lagging all over the place. Again, it's not the fastest phone in the world, and now you have an octa-core 1.8 gigahertz processor, and it's decent. You have 2 gigs of RAM, so this is not going to be a multitasking beast. This phone is a very bare minimum phone. This is for somebody that is going to be doing very basic stuff on their phone, no heavy gaming, you know, just watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. The speaker on here is fine as well. It was plenty enough loud for me. So you have micro SD support, which I always love, so you can expand that storage because you only get 32 gigs, so you can go ahead and do that. But overall, for software and performance, you know, it's One UI, but it's very stripped back. Like I said, the theme with this phone is very basic. Now, just to talk about the display a little bit more, you do have that punch hole on the left hand side, which I'm a big fan of. I think it just looks a little bit more modern, and I think it just gives the phone a more immersive feel in the hand. Now, you do have a little bit of chin at the bottom, but again, for this price point, not a huge deal here. So when it comes to gaming and stuff on here, like I said, this is not going to be a gaming beast of a phone. As you can see on Call of Duty Mobile on medium settings, you can see it's handling it just fine. The phone does not really heat up at all. Again, having that punch hole just gives it an overall immersive experience, which is something that I really like. So now this phone does have the dark mode and the Dolby Atmos, which is something that I really like. So I love that that's in there. And you also do not have NFC on board as well. So if you're into mobile payments, you're not going to have that on this phone. The fingerprint scanner on the back is pretty fast, and it works as you would expect a physical fingerprint scanner to work. It's very fast. Face unlock also is pretty fast as well. All right, so let's talk about the camera. So you have a 13 megapixel wide, 5 megapixel ultra wide, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor, shoots in 1080p. 8 megapixel selfie camera, shoots in 1080p. So the cameras are on here. They're not terrible, but they're not like really good. If you're looking for a good camera phone for under 200 bucks, you might want to look at like the Redmi Note 8. This phone was just kind of lacking in dynamic range. Color accuracy was kind of off, and I just struggled to get a clean shot with this photo. Not a lot of detail with the photos as well. So not one of the best camera phones, but if you're in some really good lighting, you can get a good shot with this phone. But yeah, so in normal lighting conditions and stuff like that, it's gonna struggle. Alright, so the best part about this phone is the battery life. So you have 15 watt fast charging with a 4,000 milliamp battery. So battery life on here will get you through the day, no problem, even a day and a half if you're a light user. So that's something that I really like. So if you're looking for a really good battery life smartphone, this is definitely a super solid buy here. So overall, not extremely competitive when you compared to some of the other phones at this price range, which we will do tomorrow, because I know a lot of people are going to be asking about how it matches up with other phones around this price point, which we will do, so I can show you why this phone isn't like super competitive and it's really for a specific type of person. So thanks for watching. What do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.